What up, Laker family? It's your boy DTLF back with another post-game recap as the Lakers embarrass themselves and give up 123 to the Golden State Warriors and lose 123 to 116 on an effort that was really piss poor up until late in the third quarter when LeBron started turning up and then everybody followed suit. But it was all bad, y'all. We came out here like we didn't want it early. Like I said, pregame, sometimes when we have multiple days off, it's like we forget how to play basketball. The first half was an atrocity. We gave Pods, one of the worst role players in the league, who only averages 10 points. He had 22 by the end of the half, so clearly they had already won the game by then. Then we make a little phantom comeback with no defense attached to it. So I knew it was over, even though Reeves was making crazy shots. LeBron started making crazy shots. Luca was an atrocity tonight, an absolute atrocity. And yeah, it did feel like he never really matched the intensity and momentum of the game tonight. Yep. It was not good tonight at all. Got cooked defensively, and then offensively, he never showed up. Probably his worst game of the season for sure. But there is no silver lining in this because this was an important game we had to have. And instead now, it looks like the number 2 seed is going to be out of reach. And also, now we got a battle for number 3. So hopefully they bring their A game. But congratulations to the Warriors. They beat us. They had an infinite more amount of free throws. Like they really marched that free throw line. And well, I guess that's what the NBA likes. They like a free throw shooting contest. This game really never got any rhythm till late in the fourth quarter. It wasn't really exciting. The commentators tried to make it sound exciting because guys just started shooting threes with no defense being played, and it looked like the All-Star weekend, which isn't exciting to me at all. But the Lakers shot 38% from beyond the arc, 18 for 47. Not a fan of that. I've been on the record as saying that. And even though, they went in at the end, they still weren't very good shots. The 2 fadeaways from LeBron in the corner, and then we went away from Austin and we shot one with DFS when he was off all night. Our role players never stepped up either, while theirs did. So I would actually love to face this team in the first round because I know we will clap them. Tonight, it was just a perfect storm of the Lakers coming out slow and lethargic. Luca having one of his worst games, and their role players playing out of their minds. That with the poor officiating combined, everything combined, and it was a complete and utter atrocity from beginning to end. So it sucks, man. Tara said, call Nico and see if we can get our shit back. Nah, it still wasn't that bad. But yeah, it was pretty bad. I get what you're saying. That's a funny joke. You know what? We're going to bounce back, and I would love to face them in the first round. I still believe we're a much better team than they are. It was just a perfect storm for them. Role players that played out of their mind. Pods is a 10-point-per-game scorer. And he wanted to show out. He wanted to try out and become a future member of the Lakers. That wasn't going to happen. But, usually that's what happens. We give new role players an opportunity to shine, Isaiah Jordan, appreciate the Cash App, bro, said Luca looked like the guard AD, Dan. Wait, what? Luca looked like the guard. Oh, I see what you say. Luca looked like the guard version of AD when he shrinks in big games. Yeah, it wasn't good tonight for Luca at all. And when he plays like this, I would like for him to be more of a playmaker and focus more on defense and rebounding instead of jacking up shots. Let's look at his stats for tonight because they weren't good. Okay, they were not good. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and bring these up on the stream right now. Bear with me here. Disappointed, man. This disappointed in this effort by the Lakers. Here we go. Warriors are the top rebounding team in the NBA, but don't play nearly any bigs. That's all heart and hustle. They kicked our ass, getting all those 50-50 balls and offensive boards into more threes. Shame AF. Exactly. Our effort didn't match theirs. It's as simple as that. I knew we were going to lose this game just after seeing the effort. And we tried to turn up in the fourth, but it was one of those signature phantom runs. All right. Look, we gave up 28 points to Pods. This guy is a glorified bench player who's only getting minutes because due to the injuries right now. Moses Moody had 13. Kuminga had 18 off the bench. Let's look at our bench. Combined for a whopping 7 points, okay, in total. Reeves turned up in the end, but it was too little too late. Again, got hot at the wrong time. Wish he would have started the game like this. Same thing for LeBron. LeBron actually had a very efficient game. It didn't look like it was going to be like that. He turned up, especially in the third quarter, leading all the way to the fourth. Rui chipped in with 24, but again, Luca 19, and it was 6 for 17, 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. I hate the fact that he even took 6 of those. 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Didn't like his game at all tonight, and lethargic throughout the night. Just embarrassing. embarrassing effort. But this isn't. I don't think this is indicative of the team we are. I just think they didn't take their competition serious till the end. At the end, you could even see LeBron full court pressing, getting a steal. But it was, again, when you put yourself in that position, you put yourself on the ropes, you're going to get knocked out eventually. And that's what happened tonight. That's why I couldn't get excited even when we made our little phantom run, because we hadn't really played good defense all night. We turned up with like 3 minutes left. Too bad we didn't have that effort throughout the night, because we would have won this game for sure. But coulda, shoulda, woulda. Congratulations to the Warriors. They beat us. Congratulations to the NBA. If they wanted to see a slow, grinded down free throw shooting contest, that's what you got. So cheers. Hopefully you got all the ratings out of that you could, because if the NBA continues to show that product and just ticky-tack fouls left and right on both ends, but especially in their favor, this is why their ratings tank and struggle, right? Nico looking like a genius right now. I beg to differ, sis. That's funny. She got jokes tonight. Nico looking like an idiot because they're may still miss the playoffs, and AD gets 1 year older. So, yeah, even though, Luca had a horrible night, he's been tremendous for us for the most part. And it's just unfortunate he chose tonight to lay an egg. Definitely not going to go as far as to say Nico looks like a genius, because he's got to be one of the worst GMs in the history. Think about this. Not only did he trade Luca away and Maxi Kleber, who we don't know what he's going to look like with us if he ever does come back this season, but he also gave away that other guy, Grimes, for a role player that hasn't played much. And Grimes has been dropping 30-point games over there with Philly. So their fans, if you go on their Twitter, you'll know exactly how they feel. One bad game by Luca won't define this trade, but it did hurt tonight. It hurt severely. Maybe just me, but I think AR will be a better player than Luca. Just you, bro. I love AR. He's rising. His star, you guys know I love AR. His star is rising, but one bad game by Luca, again, we can't overreact to this. We can't be fair weather. He had a horrible game. It was disgusting. Probably his worst game of his Laker career. No, not probably. For sure his worst game, because he shot us out of it. He turned the ball over at the wrong time, didn't play defense, all of that. But he won't make up for it. Luca's a superstar, and he won't make up for it. That happens. Steph trips over his own feet and gets a foul. Exactly. You get it, bro. It's been like that throughout his career, too. It's been like that. Yo, Dan, we lost, but I feel for the most part our guys played good. Man, yes, they did. Yes, they did. He says, sorry I couldn't be on playback. It's acting weird. Go Lakers. Appreciate you, KJ, and just delete and reinstall the app, man, because it acts weird for me too sometimes. But I will say this. Thank you so much for Super Chat, bro, and you didn't miss much, man. The Lakers didn't bring that effort tonight. They were piss poor on the defensive end, especially. We gave up tons of offensive rebounds. Let me tell you how many offensive rebounds we gave up. I don't care what type of team that is over there. We should not be giving up this much. This amount of offensive rebounds. 14 offensive rebounds, guys, right? We didn't even turn the ball over a lot either, right? I think we only gave up 10 turnovers in total, so we took care of the basketball. But it's always the fundamentals. The offensive rebounds cooked us in this, at this spurt. Warriors had 31 free throws to our 23. Low energy, no defense, bad shots, and rebounding lost us this game. We were right there too. Man. And that's what hurts, is that we finally played with the effort we needed late in the game, and it was too little too late. He said, felt like everything went wrong for us. It's still close game. I'm okay with running into them in the playoffs. I want them in the playoffs, fam. I really want them now. After this, the way they're going to be cheering and running and the way Curry was out here celebrating shots and shit, just ridiculous, man. Ridiculous. Please tell me why Knecht can't get no burn. Bro, that is the question I think all Laker fans are asking. Dalton Knecht not getting any playing time when we struggled? That is something that I think some reporter needs to ask JJ eventually. What's wrong? Like, did Dalton Knecht do something wrong to your family member, bro? Or why can this man play? Dalton Knecht is a much better player than the way he's being treated. We drafted him to play him. And it's so unfortunate that they can't find him minutes anywhere. Right? Somebody asked if we dropped in the standings. Yes, we did. We moved back down to 4th, and we're only a game up on the Warriors. So let me go ahead and share the standings with you guys. We're only 1 game up on the Warriors right now as we speak. So there you have it. For those of you asking about the standings, there you have it. Yes, the Lakers dropped 1 spot down. Now, it's not so much about the standings, more so than setting the tone. Guys, if the playoffs started today, we would face the Warriors, and I'd welcome it. Like I said, all I want us to be is a top 4 seed. But credit to them. Yes, they got more free throws than us. That's on a nightly basis. It's rare when we get more free throws in a team. There was a play where Draymond completely wrapped LeBron James, didn't even play the ball and didn't get a flagrant foul. They were getting away with stuff like that, but I like it because we got to toughen up. We got to stop crying. I'm talking about Luca. I'm talking about all the other role players as well, and we got to play through it, man. Because in the playoffs, you're not going to get a lot of these foul calls, and it's unfortunate. So I'm glad they didn't call some of those. I wasn't happy about the free throw disparity. I never am, but what else is new, ladies and gentlemen? What else is new? Curry had a play where he did the splits out here looking like a Ninja Turtle, and he got the 3 free throws. And then another possession to end the quarter, Curry goes up, Austin ties him up. Instead of it being a jump ball, he gets 3 free throws. So that's then the type of calls Curry gets throughout his career. We have to know who we're playing, right? And just adapt to it. We have to adapt. But really where we lost this was we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. They capitalized on most of those, turned into 3-pointers. And it's really demoralizing to your defense when you have a good defensive possession and you couldn't box out and do the final couple things. On top of that, I thought we were punished for using and winning both challenges. I think the league and I think the officials take it personal when you challenge them and you win both the challenges because it was so blatant that they're going to give so many more ticky-tack calls. I think if we do win our first challenge, I think we should hold on to the last one, unless it's a play that completely changes the game towards the end. But I think that should be the new strategy because what I realized once we won both challenges and we had no more, oh man, the league had a field day just giving up so many phantom fouls at the end. I thought we came out slow for sure, but in the first, there were 4 possessions where they flat out blew up our set. We have to execute better. I've said repeatedly, our offense isn't as good as it should be. And that'll come with time, for sure. That has to come with time. Luca did just get traded to this team. It's going to take some time to, we got off to such a good start that we thought we were going to gel effortlessly because we got on an 8-game win streak. But after the injuries and they came back, it hasn't been the same. I trust AR being our closer at this point. Yeah, I think he's one of the best, if not the best, for sure. He's risen. I'm proud of Austin Reeves. The only thing I didn't like is that it took him forever to warm up. If you would have heated up earlier, I think we would have been in this game. It's a lot harder to play from behind because, like I said, you're on the ropes than, to be right there within a couple of points or to even have a lead. So I get it, man. But, Austin also disappointed me for about 2.5 quarters. I'm glad he got his 31 and all that, but that was a phantom run. I can't get too excited over a phantom run, right? Defensively, I will say where I'm impressed with Austin, he's improving. There was plenty of plays where they try to outmatch him and punish him with the size, and he held his own a couple of times. Once versus Jimmy Butler, a couple of times versus Draymond. This dude will always give you effort on defensive end. Luca, on the other hand, was getting shredded, guys. Every time they got the switch with Curry, he shredded him completely and destroyed him. He has to improve on that end of the floor. He's a good on-ball defender, but not when he's guarding guards. We've seen Luca get cooked by the likes of LaMelo Ball, Curry, Trae Young, et cetera, et cetera. So he has to be a better on-ball defender when he switches onto smaller guards. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. Before it used to be Austin Reeves who was getting cooked. Now it's Luca. It seems like we always have a weakness in the starting lineup, and I don't like that. We're on like a 5 straight games of Jackson Hayes being horrible again and unplayable. You know what? If Jackson Hayes isn't getting involved offensively and catching lobs, it almost feels like he doesn't have the same interest or IQ defensively. Right? Again, this is why I don't want to overpay him this offseason. Regardless of what he does in the playoffs, I think he's such a one-dimensional player that you can't give him more than $8 million a year. I think that would be a malpractice from our front office. Appreciate you, Evan, man. I thought we were going to play with this intensity, but we didn't tonight. Shout out to LeBron and Austin who turned up at the end, but it was too little, too late. Too little, too late. Curtis, my friend, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for super chat. He said the Revs this game were atrocious. Only so much you can do. Warriors had a miracle game. If we get to see them in the playoffs, we'll smoke them. Oh yeah, I'm of the same mindset. I'm of the exact same mindset. However, the Warriors always get away with murder. Let's start with their offensive. Let's start with their moving screens that they get away with every single possession. Draymond is never stationary. Just pay attention to his happy feet. He's consistently moving on those screens, right? It's sad that we had to challenge a play just to get a regular ass charge call where Austin was clearly standing there getting ready to take the charge. Like, all of this takes us out of the game because now you can't play with the same aggression defensively when you have to challenge average-ass plays. I think we're at the stage where the NBA has to figure out a mechanical system, robots, or some sort of a body scanning technology where only the serious fouls get called because human refs have been an atrocity, man, in the NBA lately. And it hasn't just been the Lakers. It's primarily been the Lakers. We see a lot of that. But I've seen it happen the other night too when the Timberwolves were playing the Nuggets. How many phantom calls did the Nuggets not get away with and almost even stole the game? If it wasn't for the buffoonery of Russell Westbrook, they would have, won the game based off of free throws. The jump ball game being called a foul and them at the free throw line. Like, these are two important calls to be making late stretching games. And I think the officials should pay the price of losing their job and getting replaced by mechanical robots who can actually get calls right. That's about the only solution. Look, they got the replay center is never properly used unless there's a challenge. They got all these other technologies, and they're like the three blind mice out here on the court. It really bothers me how the NBA is officiated. And by the way, it is so bad for the game that there's a combined of 70 free throws in the game. We're not trying to see a free throw shooting contest, just like we're not trying to see a three-point shooting contest in the All-Star game. It's bad for basketball, and I hope they get that situated. By the way, there's been requests of phone calls. If you guys want me to activate the phone lines, make sure to hit that like button, man. Let's get to 350 likes. I think we can do it tonight. If you guys really want to get up on stage, let's drop the likes, please. CJ says, hate to say it, but the Warriors deserve the win tonight. We played like crap all game, but they are food for us in the playoffs. I agree. Now, I wouldn't go as far as to say they fully deserved it, but they deserved it more than us because the effort for that was way better than ours. We got to be better, man. We got to be a lot better. And it was disappointing that we came out so lethargic. It kind of set the tone for the rest of the game. We were on the ropes the entire game trying to come back and just overexerting energy and just ran out of time. It's that simple. If there was 12 more minutes played, I guarantee we would have won this game because we finally turned up in the fourth quarter. But there wasn't 12 more minutes played. This is a four-quarter game. We got to learn how to bring that effort from start to finish. And we take possessions off and we don't take teams for, serious, especially this late in the season. It's not going to vote well in the playoffs either, man. We're going to lose a lot of games if we come out slow. We got to come out with a sense of urgency from the get, right? D3 says, I felt like LeBron wanted to run and speed things up several times earlier, but the other guys weren't matching that. LeBron, to me, was amazing, except for the fact that sometimes he settled for too many threes. I know he got hot, but there was times where, there was one possession. We were down by 5 or 6 or something like that. LeBron came off the screen, faded away on the three. They got the rebound, kicked it back out to Bron. Bron fades away from the corner, back-to-back bricks. And then we get a stop, and then we get a transition bucket, right, with Austin Reeves hitting a wide-open corner three. I think the open ones I have no problem with. It's the hero ball ones that Luca and LeBron and even Austin take sometimes that I have an issue with, and we lose momentum sometimes. But other than that, LeBron did a tremendous job. I wish he would have turned up earlier. I get it. He's 40 years old, though. Everybody else needs to step up, including Luca. Luca is one of the main reasons we lost this game tonight. Another thing, and it rubs me completely the wrong way. JJ Redick, Dalton Knecht. Dalton, this would have been the perfect floor spacing type game. With all the threes that are being shot out there, why not put one of your primary three-point shooters, especially when the Gabe Vincent doesn't have it going? That's what bothers me. Gabe Vincent was bad tonight. And somehow, that we can't buy any minutes for Dalton Knecht. You know what I mean? That's what bothers me. That's what really, really bothers me. Let's see. Let's look at the numbers. Gabe Vincent had 3 points on 1 for 5 from the field. He was a minus 14. Him and DFS were tied for the worst plus minus. Okay, so if you're a head coach, you have to make that adjustment on the fly. This is one of the problems I have with Darvin, is the inability to make that adjustment and recognize, hey, this man isn't shooting well. Why don't I put this man in? Why don't I try this guy? Grimes due for an extension, and I think Max made him a little expendable, but still Nico's terrible. Yeah, Nico's disgusting. Nico is disgusting. Luca will be fine. Just had a terrible game. He will play better tomorrow. I'm not worried about Luca. I don't regret the trade based off of one game. Luca's a generational talent. He just needs to. I don't know if he's ever faced the Warriors as a Laker yet. I don't think he has. Right? We're 3-0 without him, so he needs to get with the program and figure out how to beat the Warriors along with the rest of the team. Match our energy. He didn't do that tonight at all. Team Money. Appreciate you, man. He said, detail of this team needs connect. I still don't understand why we drafted a player that's so similar to the coach and his play style, the way that, he was coming off of screens in his prime and shooting threes and stuff. It's not like JJ was an elite defender either. So, why are you hating on Dalton, JJ? That's, again, I love what JJ has done. I think he should be top 3 for Coach of the Year candidate. But the one mistake he's made is he has stunted the growth of Dalton Knecht throughout the year because even when he's gotten hot, he doesn't reward him for it. You know what I mean? It's almost like he's just looking at the deficiency, which is his defense, which still needs a lot of improvement, I will admit. But today, nobody was playing defense. We gave up 123 at home to the Golden State Warriors. So, and I bet you the Warrior fans are throwing a parade like they're going to win a championship. I bet you. But that's okay. Let them have their little minutes of glory. This might be their peak of their season. I expect bad things coming their way soon. I expect it because their play style is not sustainable. Just shooting a bunch of threes, getting offensive rebounds, and shooting more threes. Somebody will figure them out in a 7-game series, especially, I think, in the first round. I know, sis. Dalton Knecht. That's our guy, and he can't get no PT. Tough L is Dalton on minute restrictions. He is not, which is what makes this decision that much more puzzling, right? Do I think Westside Connect will play? I don't know. If he's not playing the regular season, that's not a good omen for the postseason, right? Dalton isn't getting PT because JJ already playing his playoff rotation. Simple fact is he was never going to play in the playoff rotation. Go look at how our minutes are run today. Very short leash for guys. I hate it. I hate coaches that stick to something and they can't adapt. Tonight was a perfect Dalton Knecht game. I don't care what the minute restriction was, what the rotations are. Fuck your rotations. Go out there and get new rotations because these ain't working. When guys are shooting, when guys are minus 14 on the plus minus, whatever happened to we're going to let the plus minus dictate how we play, right? Now you're starting to walk through Darvin Ham, facts over feelings, uncharted territory, which we don't want for JJ because he's been tremendous for the most part. But I don't care what his plan is. Sometimes you got to shred the plan and come up with a new one on the spot. Simple as that. Luca needs his buddy Kleba for real. I don't even know if he's going to be playable, bro, because if he comes in here injured, then he's just going to set us back if he gets minutes. In a 7-game series, the Lakers will wear out Ninja Turtle Curry. Man, for me, it was more so the effort, man. We didn't bring that effort tonight from start to finish, and that was the biggest difference. We brought it in the end, too little, too late. I hate that we play small ball so much. Feels like Ham is coaching again. That's because we didn't acquire another big man, which was always the concern, which is why we always wanted another big man. Matter of fact, we lost one at the trade deadline. Instead of acquiring one to go with AD, we lost another one. We lost basically 2 in a row. Hey, shout out to Power Chat. Let's go.
You don't know the power of the Super Chat. Grateful the Empire is to your contributions. Together we shall crush the rebel scum once and for all. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Marcus. Thanks for the love, brother. He said, Luca was the weak link on this one. Keep up the work up, Dan. Appreciate you, bro. You're absolutely right. He was absolutely the weak link, and they were hunting him on pick and rolls. Here's my problem, and this is where our coaching failed. Their weak link is Curry. He's a weaker link than Luca because at least Luca has size to contest. Even if he gets beat off the dribble, he can contest, which he does sometimes. Curry can't guard a fly, so why didn't we make him pay? Towards the end, we were making him pay. I seen LeBron get a switch and post Curry up, and then, I saw Rui cut to the basket, and he dumped it off for the wide open dunk. We could have been doing that all night. But our rookie coach got out-coached tonight by a lesser coach. I'm not a fan of Kerr, but he is a champion, and he is an Olympic champion. So he's got the experience, and tonight it showed. We didn't make the adjustments. We didn't attack their weaknesses, and they attacked ours. And, you know what I'm saying, they out-hustled us as well. So it was just disappointing to watch because I know we have the talent. We showed it at the end that we have the talent not only to keep up with them, but to beat them. Can you imagine if we would have came out with that intensity from the start? I think we would have been singing a way different tune. But it is a long season. I'm not going to give up on this team. I still believe in this team. Again, it's been a roller coaster. I'm hoping for some steady climbing come playoff time. Maybe some steady building, some camaraderie by playing the same team. And we're really going to find out what JJ's made out of in the playoffs. I think he'll get it right in the playoffs, but we'll see. TBD, right? TBD. Yes, hit the like button. We get 350 likes. I'm turning on the phone lines. How much do you guys want to chop it up with your boy? It's not Phone Call Friday, so anytime it's not Phone Call Friday, then we need them likes up, man. Y'all scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, baby. Let's get it. Appreciate y'all. What's up, Alan? How's it going? Let's see. See here. DFS, Luca and Gabe, 1 for 16 from 3. And that's where I have a problem with all the 3-point shoot. That's where I have the biggest problem. with all the 3-point shooting right there. When stuff like that happens, that's when I have the biggest problem right there, right? So, appreciate you guys. Appreciate you guys for blocking out the trolls. It's all good. If you watch LeBron, he's always trying to run the wing off of the rebound, and they almost never let him, which was what I meant about him wanting to speed things up. LeBron did good. Especially in the second half. I just wish we would have came out with the same for him, both him and Austin Reeves. They would have brought that from the beginning. I think we would have set the tone early. Let's see here. All right, here you go. My guy, Digital Snowflake. Thank you. Refs calling fouls on us every play. Free connect. It's gonna be like that. Can you imagine if they're this bad already? Can you imagine how the officiating is gonna be in the postseason? You know what I mean? Like, it's gonna be bad. If this is what they're calling now, oh my goodness, the officiating, expect the worst. So I'm not glad it's happening, but they have to get used to it, guys. Historically, if you're a longtime Laker fan, you know that the officiating is always horrible, and sometimes worse than others. And sometimes it's rare when they get it right, but sometimes they get it right. But for the most part, I say 80% of the time, we are victims of poor officiating, and that's a huge percentage, right? I'm just calculating here based off of what I see. And I can tell you, man, the free throw disparity, we have more aggressive players that attack the rim more. They're getting fouls off of kicking out their legs from three. So that's where, again, I don't enjoy it. If you're an NBA fan, you shouldn't enjoy it. And, it's unfortunate that it does happen. JJ didn't play much his first few years, but it's absolutely a defensive reason. He is the worst defender on our roster aside from Shake. My only issue is that sometimes you need offense. You go on like these 4 to 5 minute drive spells. I'm sure we can buy Dalton Knecht a couple minutes. I'm sure. Oh, my moderators are so sweet. It's a love fest in the chat. Love y'all, moderators. Thank y'all. Shout out to Kimmy Go and my sis Tara, aka We Stack Chips. All right. Let's see here. Kiko, appreciate you, Kiko. He said Vandal was our only rebounder in the fourth. He took him off the floor inexplicably and left DFS there, who was having a horrible night, bad coaching. And he's got to learn. That's the thing, Kiko. He's got to learn. The thing about JJ, we forget sometimes he's still a rookie coach because he looks sensational on some nights. But tonight wasn't his best coaching job. All right. I thought the adjustments were way too late. Again, I'm not going to beat the dead horse. We already talked about Dalton, but we got to try different things when our offense is stagnant, especially. I want him to learn how to be an on-the-fly coach, not a game-to-game coach. Right. And so I think those are better. The ones that can adjust on the fly give you a better chance of winning games and making in-game adjustments that put you in best position to win these games. Right. So you're right, bro. There's a lot of little things that he did that really irked me tonight. But we can't fully blame the coaching because, again, the effort was piss poor to start the game. It just was. All those offensive rebounds. Yes, going small ball impacts that. But when Jackson Hayes was out there, too, he didn't do a great job. So, how much of an adjustment can JJ make if you don't have another backup big to go to outside of Jackson Hayes? It hurts us, man. The fact that we failed to get a big man at the trade deadline really hurt us. So I'm really hoping that we can get a more formidable big man, starting caliber, in the offseason. And I think we will. I think that's going to be priority number one for sure. Appreciate the super chat, though. I like that, man. Love y'all. There you go. Charlie's Angels in the building tonight. You love to see it. But hey, we here for all the slander, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's done respectfully. If a Warrior fan wants to talk smack, just don't say crazy stuff, and you should be all right. You should survive my 2 months. Shout out to both. Feels like you can tell when Luca will have a game or not based on his first quarter. You know what? You're right. Luca does seem to start off hot early in games and cool off later when he gets blitzed and doubled. But tonight, we didn't get the early start from Luca, right? He had 10, I think he had like 10 points at the end of the half or something like that. So, yeah. But what I want from Luca, he's such a great player. He's so cerebral that if he really wanted to pick apart the defense, he could have did it. He should have played more pick and rolls instead of settling for threes. He went 0 for 6 from beyond the arc. He should have stopped at 0 for 4. Okay. Those next 2 threes that he shot should have been either plays going towards the basket or playmaking for somebody else. And this is where he'll get better. He's still 26. He's still entering the early years of his prime, but his decision making, as great as it is already, it can still get better. There was another play where he went off the. Off the timeout, he tried to do a lob play to Jackson Hayes. Jackson wasn't in position. Ends up being a turnover. Those are momentum killers where he needs to be better. He needs to be a lot better. Nuggets Warriors play tomorrow. Who should we root for in the standings? I say Denver. I ain't rooting for either of those two teams. I'm rooting for the Lakers, who also play tomorrow. And we play the New Orleans Pelicans. Should be a win on paper, but the way we've been dropping the ball against lesser teams, I'm not going to, guarantee a win. All I want is the Lakers to play much better than they did tonight and just take care of business. No CJ McCollum. He's out for the season. And no Zion. So on paper, again, we're the more talented team, right? I don't like small ball either, Tamika. I don't like it. But I can't really complain when we don't really have a formidable backup big. I thought Koloko could be that. He proved worthless on the road trip. I thought Jamison could be that, and he had a horrible game versus Brooklyn and didn't get played after that. And it's just unfortunate when that happens. When JJ complete, like, I guess he's doing it to younger players like Dalton. He had one bad game after he dropped a 30 bomb and then hasn't played him much after that. It's like, whoa. That is an extremely short leash, right? And it's unfortunate. But I hope that JJ gets better at that because, man, there's so much potential there with Dalton Knecht. You could just see the potential dripping and oozing off of him. Hey, we got another power chat. Appreciate y'all.
Thanks for the super chat. DTLF out.
Demon Reacts, appreciate you, bro. He said, I don't hate Golden State. I like Curry. Butler was one of my favorite players in Miami. But if they beat us in a series or if Curry wins ring number 5, the LeBron Curry debate will be fucking insufferable. Let me tell you something, man. And I will stand by this. I will die on this hill when I say they're not a real contender. I know they've won tons of games since getting Jimmy Butler. They're doing a better job riding off the high of their new star player than we are. But the playoffs have a funny way of balancing teams out, right? Pods had a 22-point first half, including a half-court buzzer beater. You guys think that's going to be happening in the playoffs consistently? No. And even then, they barely won. They won by less than double digits, in spite of him going crazy, in spite of the Lakers self-destructing with second-chance points and rebounds, in spite of Draymond only having 8 points, only 11 for Jimmy Butler, and Curry going off for 37 with 14 free throws, added to those. Pods had 28, 18 for Kuminga. Guys, I don't buy their supporting cast the way other fans are buying it. And I know they're on a heater right now, but it's going to change, guys. The playoffs change everything. When you're stuck with a team for 7 games, you take away each other's strengths. And then the weaknesses are more glaring. And that's what I'm expecting for the Warriors. If they prove me wrong, then I will admit I was wrong about the Warriors. But it's too early right now. They're moving up in the standings and all that. It's real cute for the regular season. The West is tough, though. And come playoff time, the real teams are going to ball out, right? And if the Lakers are a real team, they should be able to handle the Warriors. I wouldn't say easily, but at least in 5 or 6. They better not get to 7, or it'll prove that we're a pretender. If the Warriors can take us to 7, whether we win or lose, then we were never a contender this year, and we got some work to do in the offseason. Simple as that. But the playoffs never lie to anybody. Women lie, men lie. Playoffs don't. And I can't wait for the postseason because everything will be exposed there. And, if the Lakers, whatever they have to do in the offseason, will be exposed as well in the playoffs. Simple as that. But the Warriors, to me, are a fraud, pretending-ass team who's on a heater in the regular season. It almost reminds me of when the Portland Trailblazers were really hot in the bubble, and then the Lakers smacked them in 5 games. Everybody had the Portland Trailblazers beating us when we had AD in the bubble. They were really hot. Same thing happened with the Rockets. Crazy good season that year. They had Westbrook and Harden, and the analysts were glazing them to no avail. And they ended up, again, losing in 5, or was it 6? I think it was 5. So this is what the Warriors remind me of. This is a regular season heater team who is going to lose in the first. Best case scenario for them, second round, but I think first round. I think they'll be out, depending on who they face off. I hope they face off versus us. This is the team I want now. After all the front running they did and, the way they were rooting and cheering and jumping around. You see Curry over here glazing. I love what I saw tonight because it lit a fire up in me, and I'm just a fan. I hope it lit a fire up in LeBron. I think it did. There was a moment where LeBron started turning up, It was with Draymond wrapped him around and tried to throw him into the ground, and it wasn't called a flagrant as it should have been because he didn't make a play on the basketball. That was the moment that I saw the fire in LeBron. I think sometimes LeBron goes into these games knowing that they're good friends and all of that, but I like it when he gets angry. He's a different LeBron, and he showed that. And that's the LeBron we're going to need if we go off against the Warriors in the playoffs. That's the one. We need that LeBron, you know? And I can't wait to see what type of schemes defensively and offensively JJ comes up in a 7-game series, because I think he's actually more made for the playoffs than the regular season. But we'll see. TBD. D3 says small ball is our best look, especially when Jackson is bad. We live and we die with it, and JJ will end the game with his closing lineup off a big 3 Rui defense and his best 5 on this team. For now, I don't like it. I've never liked small ball, but for now, it almost feels like they're forced to when Jackson is bad, for the mere fact that Jackson Hayes is bad. But this offseason, we better address that, because you're going to wear out guys like LeBron playing the 5, and even guys like Rui, but especially LeBron, who's 40. I don't want to see him playing the 5 too often. I don't want to see him banging down low. We got a scare in this game when he accidentally bumped into Jonathan Kuminga, and it looked like his groin. He wasn't laying on the ground. I was like, oh my goodness, we got a game tomorrow. There's only 6 games left on the season, man. I want 5 of these next 6 after losing tonight. And it starts tomorrow. That should be one of the gimmies, right? Then after that, we go in and we play Oklahoma City twice back-to-back. So we're really going to be, assuming they play everybody and they don't rest some of their players, we're really going to be able to measure up to what they have, right? We are going to need Rui to step up, especially in the playoffs. Haven't seen much of his mid-range game. Well, tonight he stepped up big time. Too bad it was a wasted Rui game because Luca didn't. My ideal matchup would be the Thunder versus Wolves, Rockets versus Clippers, and then Lakers versus Grizzlies, and Nuggets Warriors. Yeah, I mean, whoever we match up against, it'll be interesting. The Grizzlies don't have the leadership to get past us, but they do have a lot of size, and they're going to bang down low. So that'll be interesting. But I think in a 7, I think JJ will have us prepared. I think so. Tonight, I don't know why we weren't prepared, or at least we played like we weren't prepared to the end, but disappointing. All right, where are we at now, Kimiko and the likes? Are we close to 300 at least? Let me know. That'll determine whether we turn up the phone lines or not tonight. Nuggets beat the Warriors without Jokic or Murray last game. We'll see what they do tomorrow. They play them tomorrow, so we'll see. Oh, yeah, we're nowhere near. Okay, we're not turning on the phone lines tonight. All right, nobody wanted to talk. That's cool. I don't mind talking. All right, like I said, this team right here, man, they give up 123 points. We gave up, look, we got 39 points in the fourth quarter, but we gave up 35. We gave up 34 in the second quarter. So those were the worst quarters that we had defensively, right? 34 in the second, 35 in the fourth. We can't be giving up 30-plus point quarters defensively. We can't. And that's the difference tonight, you know. We want to run with the Warriors. We're going to get outran. We are, you know. Let's see. T-Wolves and Memphis have an easy game left. Lakers have 4 hard games. We don't want it any other way, bro. It'll determine how good we are. We lost tonight. It was a bad loss. It set us back. Not only did it set us back one spot, but it set up other teams for success. For example, Houston now more than likely will solidify that final seed. Most likely. It's not guaranteed, but it's most likely. That second seed. We're still in a deadlock with Denver. Right, we're in a deadlock for the number 3 seed right now. We're fighting there. But we're currently at 4th with only a game ahead of the Warriors at 4th, right? And so it's all going to matter. These next couple of games, I'm going to be covering them extensively. If you guys already have not followed me on Playback, make sure you guys do that right now. But I'm telling you, these games are going to be covered extensively. There's going to be a lot of hate watches because it's all going to matter. You know, these playoff matchups are going to matter. And let's see if I can pull it up here because if the playoffs started today, we would literally, and I mean this literally, be facing the Golden State Warriors if they start today, which I want. I kind of want that. You know, we'd have home court advantage. But this is what it would look like here. This is what it looks like. Right? So you got Thunder versus whoever advances here in this 4-team playoff bracket. By the way, I think the Timberwolves would eliminate the Clippers here. And I think the Mavericks will beat the Kings there, right? So it would be, I think the Mavericks, or should I say the Timberwolves would advance to face the Rockets in the first round, which would be an epic showdown. I would love to see that. And then in my scenario, the Mavericks would advance to play the winner or the Clippers, should I say. So now the Clippers versus Mavericks, I believe the Mavericks are the better team. There's a chance the Clippers could lose or could win. Then, you either have Clippers or Mavericks here in the first seed. Clearly, I got the Thunder over both of those teams. Here, Lakers. I would have the Lakers here for sure. Nuggets versus Grizzlies. I don't know. That's the coin flip right there. That would be one of the funnest series to watch because who knows who would win. To me, they're both pretenders. They're both pretty decent pretenders, right? So that's what it would look like if the playoffs started today. And I don't mind that first round right there. I wouldn't mind it at all. But we still got a whole another week to wait and to see. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Whose comment did I miss? David Prim. He said, that game was tragic. Time to turn it around next game. Well, we got a game tomorrow. So make sure you guys are right back here for pregame tomorrow. We got a game tomorrow, so we don't have time to feel sorry for ourselves. After the game over there on playback, my friend Darius, who's a Warrior fan, says, man, Dan, I kind of feel like giving you a hug. No hugs necessary here, man. We're used to this type of basketball. We've gotten disappointed the last 2 seasons in a row. We're due for a surprise playoff run this year. I think we're going to get it. But guys have to be much better. And starting with our star players, Luca, got to be much better. Role players, guys, they were the role players had the worst plus minus tonight. They got to be much better. The coaching has to be infinitely much better, and they have to adapt on the fly. Pro Pods ain't making those BS shots again, man. Doesn't seem like there's always some up-and-coming wannabe player that comes in here and gives us a new career high. And I don't know if it was his career high, but it definitely was his first half high at 22. He had outscored Luca and LeBron combined in the first half. That's never acceptable. Role players doing that. Houston has just as hard of a schedule left as us. Pull it up right quick. Oh, I pulled it up pregame. I saw. Yeah, I already broke that down pregame. I saw they have a tough schedule. However, they are how many games ahead of us? They already have a lead, so Lakers have no margin for error. This is why I don't have us pulling up to get that second seed. But I'll be okay with the 3rd or 4th seed. I'll be okay with that for sure. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy though. I mean, this is nuts. Hold up. Give me 1 second. There it is. Let me see. There it is. I'm pulling up the standings right now. So the Rockets have already gotten to 50. We would need to win 5 out of the next 6 just to get to 50. The likelihood of us beating them or surpassing them in the standings are slim tonight. Okay, you can kiss the number 2 seed after this loss. Bye-bye. Most likely they lock that up. The Nuggets, on the other hand, are 3 games back. And don't they play them soon? Yeah, they play them at the end of the season. So depending on what the Rockets do with the remainder of their schedule, right? Because they got the Thunder tomorrow. They got the Warriors. They should beat the Warriors. The Warriors are a fraud team. They got the Clippers. They got us, and then the Nuggets. So unless they lost all 5 of those and we won out, we ain't passing the Rockets. It's not very likely to happen. The better scenario would be the Nuggets, okay? Because we're virtually half a game back from them. So we would have to have them lose to the Warriors tomorrow, have the Pacers hopefully win there. Whatever happens here is irrelevant. And then have the Rockets beat the Nuggets in order for us to get that 3rd seed. On top of that, we have to kind of try to win at least 5 out of the last 6, which is going to be tough. We got the Thunder twice, back-to-back. Got them. So, and I think both of those are road games, if I'm not mistaken. So, yeah, it's not going to be a walk in the park for us at all. Then, let's be honest, Luca has not been great so far. His shooting is off. Luca's been great sometimes. He hasn't been great all the times. And that's me being honest. I'm always honest here, bro. But you know what I find interesting, Ricardo? There's been games where you have predicted we would lose and we win. And I don't see you in the post game. And then it's the games when we lose. Fans like you love the negativity. That's when you pop up, Ricardo. So it kind of cracks me up a little bit. I mean, you have your right. You have your right to pop up when there's negative stuff. But I want you to keep that same energy when we do win. Because things are about to turn around. I just feel it, man. I want you to keep that same energy and be positive. Be positive when we win. Not just be negative when we lose. Dan, do you see the Thunder coaching staff sitting their starters against the Lakers on back-to-backs? They already locked in the first seed, but if they really want to make an impact and try to shoot us down in the standings, personally, me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. If they really want to make an impact, they're going to play their players against us. If they really dislike us and they want to make sure they demoralize us, they're going to try to beat us twice. I can see it happening, but we'll see. We're going to find out. We need Luca to use tomorrow's game to find his rhythm. We need Luca not to force threes, man. He already broke the franchise record for the most threes made in a month, last month. And that's cute, no, but the shooting percentages, if they're not there, please don't force it. Please don't force it. What's up, Danny's? How's it going, bro? I have a feeling OKC will still have their starters play against us to try and gag the matchup for a potential series. I think so too. Man. My cuz, I'm not sure who you are, bro. Yeah, what cuz? Which one, brother? I have a lot of cousins. But yeah, I think you're right, bro. I think that's gonna happen. I think for sure. I'd be a little surprised if they sit out their players. I mean, it's the playoffs. It's right before the playoffs, so there's always a chance, right? They want to rest guys up and all of that, but we'll see. Casual NBA fan, thank you for becoming a member, brother. Welcome to the family. Appreciate you. Tycoon says, Dan, I agree. Luca needs to play inside more. Yeah, bro. The settling for threes has never been cute. We're not the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors, they make a lot of the threes they take, so they take more. They shot 40%. We shot 30-something. There's a difference there. So let's see. I'm starting to not care about this season and get ready for us to load the chip in this summer. Bruce Leroy, it's a long season up ahead, bro. The real season is about to be in the postseason, man. Trust me. We're going to get there. And for the first time, we have the chance to avoid the play-in tournament. Unless we have an atrocity and lose most of these final 6 games, we're going to most likely avoid the play-in tournament. That's already huge in itself. It'll be bigger if we can solidify a top 4 seed. We're right there. We're on the door of solidifying a top, maybe even a top 3 seed. But if we play the way we did tonight with these final games remaining, anything's possible, guys. Now, Luca did take accountability post-game. He said, Luca Doncic, after going 6 for 17 during the loss to the Warriors, he said, that performance by me is unacceptable. So it is good. It is good to see that, but we need to see actions speak louder than words. I need to see him really come out here and have a much better game next game and moving forward. I got to give props when props are due. Golden State played a great game. Just hope our star players take this as a lesson and play their ass off next game. Golden State was good. They were good. I didn't have fun watching the game. It was a lot of free throws. I wish it wasn't. If they would have won this and they didn't have, all those free throws, I would have given more props. But I will say, yeah, they deserve this win more than we did, but just based off of sheer effort. Not the calls. I can't give them the calls, though. Tycoon says, Dan, happy Austin getting his redeem right here just in time for the playoffs. I love the fact that Austin has elevated his game. He had an off game the last game for sure. He had a much better game here, especially in the second half. It's a shame that we didn't ride the hot hand because he was on a heater. He was hitting 3 after 3 after 3 to get to 30 points again. And then DFS jacked up a 3 that he missed. He was off all night. So that was unfortunate. I like it when we look for ways to ride the hot hand. That's what I like. But it is what it is. We put this game in the past already, and we move on to the next one. Let's see. Final comment I'll read. Bright side is LeBron looks like he's getting his groove back. Well, he looked a lot better in the fourth quarter and late in the third. So if we can bottle up and take that LeBron moving forward, I will take it. Things should get better, guys. There's 6 games left. Make it or break it time. We lost one of the biggest games of the year. At least that's what it was, built up to be. Unfortunately, I don't know about you guys. I didn't have a lot of fun watching a free throw shooting contest, but it is what it is. We move on. We play again tomorrow. Tomorrow's game becomes just as big. We have to win it, and we have to try to win as many games as possible. I say minimal 4 out of the last 6. maximum, we should win 5 out of the last 6. I think that's a good number to shoot for. Get to 50, get to 50 or as close to it as possible. And that'll help solidify these final couple of games. All right, guys, it's going to wrap it up for me. Please don't forget to hit the like button on the way out. I do appreciate you guys. I know it was a tough loss, but we here, win or lose, we're here, and we're always going to for sure give you guys the facts here, the absolute facts. And the fact is we lost, and we deserve this L. The effort didn't turn up until late in the second half, end of the third quarter. So hopefully moving forward, they bring that energy for at least 3 out of the 4 quarters. Okay, if we do that, we'll have a better chance of winning. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate all the likes and all the contributions to the channel. Welcome to all the new members and all the new subscribers. If you already haven't, please hit the like and subscribe, guys. Appreciate it. Kimiko, thank you so much as well. And my sis Tara, aka We Stack Chips. You guys were awesome, man. Anytime we lose, it seems to be more trolls. The cowards magically disappear when we win. So either way, we're going to be here for you guys. Thank you guys so much. See you guys on the next one, all right? Have a good one.